people. So we have also a streaming online audience, so they are here live, and we have 72% of the companies that it's very, that's a lot in the business area, and we need more members of staff. So it's a positive togetherness where we want to change something, and the politics are on demand and the companies are being demanded, and we need here to create something new. There is a change. The companies have noticed this. And here we have hotels, so that's already something being done. 40% have new time models, flexible working hours that have been possible. 33% are just going into new directions in recruiting. 27% have benefits for their staff members. 20% of staff places to be lodged. 17% with new offers for the members of staff, which have been strengthened. And there are also the associations that do a lot to be able to help the companies. There is a lot in preparation, a lot happening. So I'd like to say in the next few days, there's going to be an Austrian webinar, which is going to be about recruiting, communication of staff members, and flexible working hours and models, which is important and good. So image, and also in the different federal republics. So we have diverse jobs, tourism, and the top areas are going to be placed into the front to have a great apprenticeship places. Third point is, the young talents are going to be in the skills. They're going to do their apprenticeships there. That's important because we also need the younger generation to come into tourism, and we need them. And they are full of optimism, and so are we. And this means now I would like you all to listen, and you're all back. So you at home in front of your screen or in the office and screen, you are here with us. So who wants to be successful in the tourism branch has to have a look at the offers, the possibilities, and this also with the members of staff. And there we would like to talk about how this can be possible to do this. So redesign tourism for the Tourism Days 2022. So how does this change in the hotel area, the various jobs? How can we keep our staff members with the new offers, new motivated members of staff to find them and to take them on this to this trip to the future? And we're going to talk about this together with different people from science, from the practice, and from all different branches. And now we're going to use this opportunity to get you ready, and we're going to do this with an impulse from an expert who has been working very intensively in this area of tourism. And she is an architect, and she leads the research hotelry and tourism in the Fraunhofer-Institut in Stuttgart. Her name is Vanessa Borkmann, and she is there for the FutureHotel, Future Vision, and this in the network of FutureHotel. She has created a study for the future in the work in hotels. She has thought about what do the members of staff, what do they wish, what do they want, and how can we make this real as an employer. On the one hand, to listen to her, to make it more attractive, also to have new members of staff and the new structures that they become more efficient. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Vanessa Borkmann. Welcome on stage.
Mikrofon nehmen wir einfach eines hier. So, die Frau Professor Borkmann.
So Professor Borkmann still needs the clicker for the presentation. So the microphone should be on, and it should be on the table. Okay, here's the clicker, found it. So here you go, dear Professor, you may start. Right. So I'm so happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk about the paradigmatic changes in our work, daily work. So have you already heard about ambidextrous I see some people saying yes. So I have brought two hands, the human hand and the robotic hand. So ambidextricity. Ambidextricity means to being able to use both hands, and the development. One hand is more the empathic hand, the creativity, and the other hand is the automatization, the efficiency. And that's what we have. This is what makes the paradigmatic change of our working world. This is not just the hotel world, and we have this in every branch. And as I've already mentioned, I'm going to bring you back to a study. So the scientific work that I haven't done alone, but with my team, and this has taken us several years. So sorry, we have some technical issues here. I'm sorry for this. Please hold. Sorry, these are the two hands. One hand works, the other one doesn't. Sorry, we're having some technical issues here, I'm afraid. Maybe you can get some technical help here. Thank you. Now it's working. Thank you very much. So I work at the Fraunhofer-Institut in Stuttgart. Fraunhofer is a very big organization. We have 30,000 scientists who mainly work in Germany, in the German speaking countries, but also in the worldwide. I am one of these, and my main point is tourism and inclusive the cultural sector. Now it's working. So what I'd like to introduce to you very shortly, these are some extracts from these two studies. This is the part that has already been published. One part corresponds to the working world of tomorrow. In the tourism branch, what are the changes, and the other are the changes of the profiles, the job profiles. So we have here asked people. We have 4,000 people in this area who've given their voice, and they have clearly shown us where are we heading to, what are the desires amongst the people concerned. On the one hand, I said the two hands, digitalization, technology, it's all about the potential flexibilization of work. We need change. We need improvement of the world in the tourism branch. I'm not going to talk about the problems and the challenges. I think you know about them. And I think that this has already been mentioned in the prior discussions. These changes happen. And these happen mainly outside of the tourism branch, and we should not stand still, because standing still would actually mean that the other branches and the other employers and employees would then change, and then all of this would no longer be possible. So the term of new work is not new, but it's all about the changes in the daily work, which is happening now more than ever. New work means change, and that in flexibilization of work, but also the sense of digitalization and technology. But new work is more than just that, and it has been founded by a philosopher, Prof. Bergmann, many, many years ago. He talks about new work, about new values in the worlds, and being independent, freedom, self-employment, and part of society. All of these are values that have to do with new work, and which are going to change our new world and question our new world. So a new work, and what does this involve? So we have 4,000 people that we've asked, and we've got different groups that we've evaluated differently. On the one hand, we've asked people who work in tourism, in hotel branch, in restaurants, but also in different branches. We have interested people who are interested but who didn't study this. So the young people who would like to enter the branch, how are they in comparison to the directors, bosses in the tourism branch, in the hotel area? So the directors have been asked, which are important aspects. You see here the strength of self-responsibility, the preparation of the employees on the change in the work life. And that's a very important point, because this new world, this new work world doesn't just happen, and not just because at the top of a company something's being decided that is going to be that we need change. This only works together. It's the togetherness, and we need to take the members of staff with us. We need contemporary organizational forms, and these are absolutely necessary. So as you can see, we also have to look at the hierarchy. This pyramid that we still see in the companies are no longer modern, they're no longer relevant. And also think about new directors. Holacracy, I'm going to talk about this in a minute. So here we have a lot of new possibilities that not that new yet, but now we've got the time. Now is the time, because now we have noticed with the pandemic, and it's so important to build ourselves again, to react with the new necessities and also the wishes of our employees. This 4-day week has already in some companies been piloted. So 25 hours was the company that introduced that in 2020, 2021. It's a company in North Germany, in Hamburg. 1 year later, they want to have this on larger scale, so larger geographic scale. So the people we asked, 63% were positive about it, and they said they could imagine working in that way. But one remark that I'd like to make, these new organizational models, I'm going to present more to you. It doesn't mean that each and every one of these needs to be taken up. It doesn't mean that all do this in parallel simultaneously, but these are possibilities, these are chances. It's a bunch of flowers of possibilities, and then you have to decide for your company which is the best solution for you. And here again we have the key to success. Take your members of staff, your co-workers with you onto this trip. Yes. So in April 2022, the 4-day week started and happened in the 25-hour hotels. This was decided, and then we still have the 5-hour day. That's another model. Instead of working 8 hours a day, just to reduce the day on 5 hours, but then to work in a fully concentrated way and be highly efficient. Maybe not something that everybody would like to consider, but for some people, this is the best way. Also, the job sharing idea, to share one job position with another person and to work individually, independently, but together. For people who don't want to work full-time, but maybe part-time because they can't, because they're in a certain family situation or life situation where they can't. It doesn't mean that it works in every country and that this is feasible in every country. But as I said, in certain life situations, this can be of an advantage, and this offer for people who maybe would not be able to work for you. So a hotel that has a new leading model, is that possible to not have a leader without a head, a company with no head? The holacracy, we call it holacracy. This is a possibility to stop hierarchies and to work in models, giving them roles. I'm not going to go into detail with this. It's a very complex system and a very complex model. There are thick books about it. However, there are more and more companies that are taking up this model, especially in some areas of companies. They use it in a very successful way. For example, here we have Price Hotels or the Osterkrum Hotels, the SSW in Stuttgart. Flexibilization of work means that we need to stop these structures, and we have to have more space, be more agile, and this only works if we flexibilize. What is flexibilization? Well, it's in work, and we're going to divide it into 3 categories. The content flexibilization of work, so have different tasks in work and be able to change and develop. The timely flexibility, not having to work at fixed working hours, and also the local flexibilization, home office, remote work, working from different areas, also within the company, not just working from one company. And here you see the evaluation of the importance of these different flexibilization offers, and right at the top we see the most important, the content flexibilization. No stupid tasks, that you have something new every day, not these daily chores and tasks. You know, this flexibility and this change. And when we talk about flexibilization of work, you can actually manage to get, as an employer, to become more attractive and also have more different potential employees that can get this offer. 75% of the people that we asked, that with these tasks, we don't just need to have knowledge and experience, but also creativity. So this is what people desire, what they wish, to be part of it in a creative manner. 60% say due to this work together and these daily tasks, to get to know different areas of their job, which means that they don't have these specific capabilities and capacities and possibilities in other areas. These companies, they can just have a look at it and just see it.
Which implication does this have? There are many trends that can be created or derived from this. Can become more creative through this with these concepts, and then the future employers confirmed as well that this is important for them, because maybe they know it from other branches and they got to know it in other branches. And so also those who dropped out can be convinced, because those who dropped out from the branch, they like to work in this branch before or in the past. They like to work in the hospitality industry. So it is a joy, but liking your work is one thing, but you also need to find the right conditions, working conditions at work. So those who dropped out from the branch would like to come back if the working conditions would be better or improved. So 52% say that they would like to have more time at work, to be personally also to do their personal service to the guests. So, and to spend more time on one single guest. So some things that could be automized should be automized, and then others should be put in the focus. So most agreed that some single activities could be automized with the help of technologies, modern technologies. And we also analyze this in other branches. With the help of robots, you can really do a lot of work or hand over a lot of work to robots, and by creating more time for the employees to do other things. But is that the goal? Is that the objective? And what will then happen with the employees? Will they still like their job, or will they go to another? Will they change over and go to another branch? So 74.6% say that important data information are available online. So the employer should also support the digital competence. This is what 61% said, and 57% want a digital app to be able to exchange information and communicate and to organize at their workplace. So these are some results from our survey. In the next 10 years, we are required to work more with technologies, with modern technologies, and we will have to deal more with digital content and data, and the workplace and our working conditions will change a lot in the next 10 years. There is a big variety of professions, of jobs in the hospitality industry. But I think, and I'm convinced, that no area will remain the same in the next 10 years. So they will all change and in the next 10 years. And new jobs will evolve, will arise. Robots will be also used in the future. For housekeeping, the cook will also maybe be supported in the future by automated processes. Artificial intelligence will some areas be substituted or replaced by artificial intelligence. The receptionist, for example, will he be replaced? So if you want to know more about this area, you can read the entire study. And people will remain, the human beings will remain the key in the business. Maybe not the way we know it today. Maybe not everywhere we will find human beings that will take over a certain task. But there will still be people, human beings in the hospitality industry. And therefore, let's say we want to work in the hospitality industry. And this brings me to an end already. And please join us for the discussion. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Borkmann. Very exciting insight into your survey, into your study on the hotel and hospitality industry. Now we would like to start a discussion and introduce a person that has to do with the practical side of hospitality and the hotel industry. So please take a seat. And now I would like to introduce another two panelists, two men who are experts, who are very experienced. Mrs. Borkmann, please take a seat over there. And now I would like to welcome Richard Bauer. He knows tourism. Now for 25 years he is a book author and he is expert in tourism. He supports enterprises in tourism and also in terms of automation and digitalization. Then I would like to welcome Georg Pastugin. Is directing the FutureHotel in Vienna. Is a very special hotel that has very economic aspects which are supported in the hotel. We will hear more about it soon. So the State Secretary for Tourism was here in the opening session. So I will now take over her seat. Thanks a lot for taking part in this panel discussion. Mrs. Borkmann, gentlemen, this is quite a lot. We have heard about the future, about desires and wishes for the futures addressed to our employees in the hotel and hospitality industry. Mr. Borkmann, Mr. Bauer, you are working in the practical field. You are working with companies in tourism. Where are we heading to? What is going on in the tourism branch? Thanks a lot. Let's start with your presentation, because the digitization changes the contacts with customers, because they become less and the single contact becomes more important, because the perception of the employee is put in the center of attention, because the customer will notice them more and will notice how well they are trained. So what is the situation in the tourism branch? You asked me this question. Of course, the lack of staff is one thing that we're discussing. We have a lot of long-term employees that are really experienced, working in a company for years already, but at the same time we have this situation that young talents are harder to find, and therefore every company is asked to react and go directly to different schools, maybe already to primary and secondary schools, and interact with young people and attract their interest and try to attract them. And this would be the first contact. And there you will get immediately feedback. So I would like to address Mr. Pastucin. You said that you focus on ecology. What is this concept about? Thanks a lot for the invitation. Our economy believes that economic success is not the first and primary goal. This is our concept. But it is important that all stakeholders feel fine, that they feel well within the company, so the employees, but also our guests, the environment, the suppliers, all should feel well. So this fits well with what you said, Mrs. Borkmann, that human beings are at the center or will remain in the center of attention. Do you agree? Yes. Economy for the society. What are we working for? And this is important. We have this social component in our economy of the common good. This is the focus. This is key. So why do we use robots? Why do we replace human beings in some certain areas with robots? And because we want to use the human force in other areas. And then we are back at the economy of the common good. FutureHotel is a social hotel. This is what we found out in our research as well, and can be confirmed by our research. Yes, Mr. Bauer, Mr. Pastucin, please, can you tell us what does this mean for employees? Why are you a step ahead? The prerequisites in order to use economy of the common good well is also to be successful on an economic level. So the figures must be correct and must work, and the business must be successful. But if we can do something for the environment, if we can do something for the employees, and if we do not leave a dirty footprint behind, then what does that mean concretely? We're communicating our own values. Our values And the core of our values is common respect, respect for each other, appreciation. And we already implemented some and a lot of small steps in order to strengthen this culture. For example, we introduced a culture of appreciation. So not only between the superior and the employee, but also within the employees. This was something that was not that easy at the beginning, and because it wasn't something that we were used to in the past. To be praised or praise others, and this was something we needed to get used to. But everyone needs to be recognized. We need recognition for what we are doing, and if we feel this and we feel that others appreciate what we do, then this makes the whole environment socially more acceptable. So, Mr. Bauer, this means appreciate employees. How can we implement it? Or can we do something more if we talk about the acquisition of employees? Appreciation is the main factor if we want to attract employees. And if the family of the enterprise respects the employees and the staff, then this will work. So appreciation and also the offer that we offer the employees, so work-life balance, appreciation, further education and training for the employees. All this is part of the good environment for the employee, and we need to offer this entire program. And this should be implemented within a company, but also it should be done to attract new employees. Because if an employee has this social competence, this component, and this, then within the company, this will be communicated also to outside, and it will also attract new employees. So also small enterprises can acquire new employees by doing that. We heard it already today. So being courageous and having and daring to do something new, to be innovative. In terms of employees, what can we do, or what could someone do to attract employees? So maybe we should not ask ourselves, but we should talk with the employees, communicate with them, or ask them what would they like to have, or show them different possibilities. Don't impose it on them, but try to communicate, because many don't even know the different possibilities which they could have. So maybe you must show them some examples and try to find out what the different issues are or different topics are. What do they want? Do they want to participate more, have a saying in the company, having more leisure time, or whatever? Trying to find out what really they want to do, and maybe do an excursion together, and then trying to find out what employees expect or wish. And this is not something done overnight. You cannot do it in one day. It needs time. And of course, we also need to accept that you can make errors, and maybe then you have to accept, okay, this was an error. Let's go one step back, and then start again and try something new. You should not hope that someone is coming and presenting the best solution for you. But I would like to motivate you to start today or tomorrow, step by step, to move forward. And one day, with a lot of small steps, you will create an entire image, an entire picture, and have a good solution. And there's not only one measure that will be the right one for everyone. Maybe you must try different things and then also analyze them. But you have to do it quickly, because the world is not waiting for us. So everything is proceeding very quickly. So we were talking about appreciation. And how do you call your employees? You call them experts for rendering things possible, making things possible. So you don't simply call them employees. They are experts in their area. That's how you call them. What does this change? So I think, and I'm convinced, that everyone wants to contribute to a big thing, to a big concept, and the hotel is a place of encounter, a place where people want to meet, and we can all contribute to make this an adventure, to make it something, to make it a positive experience. So everyone is part of it. Everyone can participate. The cleaning woman, the cook, everyone is part of the entire concept. And actually, it goes even deeper. Not only because we call them experts, but we want to show them what is the sense between the sense of their task. So how is it accepted by the customers and the guests? Yeah, the guests like it because they see that the atmosphere is very positive, and so it is well accepted. Of course, if the employees are feeling fine, there is a good atmosphere, the guests will also feel this positive atmosphere. This is very nice. These creative approaches are exactly what we're looking for. Yes, this sounds great. I would like to know more about it, but maybe another perspective I would like to mention. Employer, employees. So the concept in the past was, as long as they are hired by me, they are important to me. But we have to see it more like a customer journey. So not only when the guests are in the house, I have to also keep the contact with them. And the same applies to employees, so I have to be in contact with them also outside of the company, or I need to be visible for them even before they join the company, to attract them. How can I do that? These are the questions. And also employees who give you notice, don't close the door on them and say, okay, now you're not part of us anymore. But think of how can you keep in touch with them? Maybe they want to go abroad, and maybe then afterwards they want to come back. So how can you keep in touch with them during this period of time? Maybe they want to collect and make some experiences abroad, and then they want to come back. And if me as an employer, I'm able to keep the door open for them and to keep in touch with them and show them the possibilities they will have if they come back, before looking for a new employer, then after he's back, this would be the chance that you have to take. This is a way to be a step ahead of others. So we want to hear new ideas, new concepts today from the hotel industry and hospitality industry. So give us as much as possible, ideas as much as possible, ideas. So as you already said, 30% of the employees want to come back to the company. They just want to make some experiences outside, maybe abroad. And yes, it's a good idea to keep in touch with them or offer them a program. Maybe tell them or tell them that you offer them a program where they can go abroad for 3 years and then come back to your company, because of course this will also pay then in the end. And we have two velocities at hand at the moment: an optimization of what we have now, and then something more. And then there are companies who have who implement a new speed, who have a four-day week, or have new concepts, offer flexible working hours or working days. Some do work only the weekend, offer only weekend work, or they offer for day weeks. And so, and in cooperation with other companies, they also offer further training for the employees. So there's a lot going on. One participant of a webinar said it, now is the time where companies have to candidate and have to present themselves to employees and not the other way around. So do you feel this employee satisfaction in your company? And can you feel that others are attracted, or do your employees attract other new employees? Yes, of course. At the moment, we have the problem that there is a lack of employees on the market, so there are no employees anymore on the market. And we have a company where human beings and employees are appreciated, and everyone can contribute to our vision, to our goal, to our common goal. And it's about supporting and promoting our employees. And some employees are attracted by this, and we put our concept and our values at the center of attention. And till now, we can see a positive development and the positive feedback from our employees. And we were really sometimes even really we had good candidates and interesting experts who wanted to join our company. So this sounds really good. So what can you tell experts in tourism in terms of employees, the acquisition of employees? We will hear later on also a presentation of flexible working hours. But Mrs. Borkmann, what would, according to you, be the next steps in terms of acquisition of employees? I mentioned different things already before, but I think it is all about appreciations and values. So the companies are asked to work on their own values, because I can communicate values only if I have them. And a job or a job which can be replaced, so there I don't have any parameters. Maybe the only parameter I have is the salary. But if I have values, clear values that I communicate to my to people interested in the company, and I'm authentic and I can communicate it in an authentic way, then I have something more to offer to the employees, and I can infuse employees or future potential employees. And then it is not only about a salary or earning 50% more or less, then it is about values, and it is about the company which looks for employees on the basis of company values. This is something new, something different, which we didn't know in the past. So this is the first step. Take a step back as a company and ask yourself, what are your own values? And then, based on this value, try to present yourself outside, to the outside. So reflect these values to the outside. And keep your existing employees and try to retain the employees. So you have a new approach in your hotel, and it seems to be successful. What would you tell others? What would be your proposal or your suggestion? Mrs. Borkmann already said it, and I fully agree. I remember 5 or 6 years back, we discussed the topic of employer branding in our company, and together with my wife, I said we'll make a website for potential employees, and in the course of this process, we found out that we can write down everything, but if we cannot live these values and this concept, then it makes no sense. And that time, we were not ready because we did not really live these values. And then we had to step back, to do one step back, and we started to do this process. We had to rethink our own values. We had to ask ourselves, how do we want to be? How do we want to present ourselves in front of others? And what is important to us? And this was the starting point. And then the rest came about automatically. So very interesting. Mr. Bauer, you have a lot of experience in the branch, with the branch. You heard a lot from different companies in the branch. Do you have something else to suggest or to add? I would like to add one thing. The hotel industry and the hospitality industry and the companies in these branches have one benefit. They can also reflect or show the employees how it feels like to be part of this branch of apart from further training, from working conditions, the social aspect is important to show employees how does it feel to be part of this family, of this enterprise family, of this company, and how would it look for you, or how will you feel in this family if you would join us. So if you look in the future, if you would look in the future, Mr. Pastucci, what would you wish for the tourism branch in the future, for the hospitality and hotel industry? I would wish to see a basis, a hotel and hospitality industry based on values, where we carefully handle our resources and we respect each other, if we have deep respect in front of others, vis-à-vis our employees and everyone working in our industry. So, and you, Mr. Bauer, what would you wish for the tourism branch? So I think Austria here and the Austrian tourism is on a good way, and giving this feeling of being welcomed, cordially welcomed in every company in Austria, in every tourism company in Austria. And you, Mrs. Borkmann, I fully agree, but regarding what we said before, terms of tourism. What is tourism? It is not only about traveling or international guests. We should not focus only on international guests. We should focus also on national guests. And the hotel of the future and the restaurant of the future should be a social hub, to my mind, a social hub that welcomes everyone, a place where you can be creative, where you come closer to each other. And then neighborhood. It should be a nice and welcoming neighborhood where you can use different services, so where you will feel well in the restaurant, or maybe even cook yourself or together with others in the restaurant kitchen. There are so many possibilities. So maybe also putting or offering accommodations in a neighborhood, making available a room for guests for a night. So trying to make it a playground for us, for everyone, and creating a healthy environment. This is great. This is a great conclusion, I would say. This really fits in well in our discussion in the Austrian tourism, which we are so proud of. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Borkmann, Mr. Bauer, and Mr. Stuchin. This was a really, really interesting input for us, and we will take this along with us for the future. Thanks a lot. A big applause for you. So this was the first part of the Knowledge Campus of 2021, of the ATP 2021, but there is still more, of course. We have another 3 presentations, but now take a break, relax, and maybe also chat with each other, exchange experiences, and so therefore, let's have a break now. And then there is still, starting at 1 p.m., another interesting discussion on redesigned tourism. And also for you at home, we are back at 1 p.m. At the ATB 2022.